What's up, family? This your favorite cousin Rich, back again with episode 30 of Rich Talks. And today we're gonna talk about the language of the universe. Yes, the language of the universe. Does the universe communicate with us? And if so, how? You know? This is an interesting topic because many people think that we just are here on this planet. We're here on this earth realm, this this ball of water and land, and they don't think much of it. They don't think that it's deeper things that can go on, deeper meanings. They don't believe in communication with things or energy um other than with people. And that could be furthest from the truth. You see, the universe communicates with us in a multitude of ways. And this leans on what I was speaking about yesterday, in the sense that the universe does not want you to fail, it wants you to prosper. And the way that the universe will communicate with you that it wants you to prosper, and it'll give you a leg up, or, it'll give you certain cheat codes, it'll give you a boost, it'll give you a shortcut. The way that it does this, provides you help, is through signs, synchronicities, It'll speak to you through its certain language, numbers, coincidences, all these things that people may overlook or people may deem taboo or woo-woo spirituality things, all these things that people, throw to the left is really the way that the universe communicates with you. Numbers have meanings, coincidences have meanings, synchronicities have meanings. All these things have a meaning, just like the language that we speak has a meaning to convey a message. And it's the same thing with the universe. Everything that it does has a meaning to convey a certain message. It's just, are you at that point where you're able to receive that certain message that the universe will be trying to convey to you? And the sad thing about it is, a lot of people are not at that level to be able to receive that type of message. A lot of people are not open to receive that type of message that the universe uses to convey to you. And this is why a lot of people think that the universe is against them, or a lot of people think that the universe is trying to harm them, not prosper them, because they look over these things, these synchronicities, these keys, these little bits of nuggets that the universe will drop onto you to help guide you. And then you say, guide where? Guide you where? Guide you to prosperity. Guide you to where you're supposed to be. Where else? Like I said, the universe is not here to harm you. The universe is not here to, make you suffer. It's here for you to prosper. Because if you prosper, the universe prospers. So why would it want you to suffer? If we dive into things like synchronicities and coincidences, a lot of people think that coincidences are just something random. But I'm going to say the thing that we all say: there's no such thing as what? a coincidence? How is it that these two things aligned like a coincidence? How is it that this coincidence aligned and it was a mistake? Perfectly lined, you know? Either something you were talking about, something you were thinking, or something that reminds you of something, you know? It all lines up. This synchronicity or this coincidence. And people deem it as something random and not to look at. That's number one sign that whatever that coincidence is lined up to be, you should take a look at it. And it's either confirming something or asking you to strengthen something or pay more attention to something. A coincidence is not a coincidence. A coincidence is just another check mark allowing you to know that you're on the right path. Allowing you to know that whatever you're thinking about can come true. And this is why it's important for you to guard your energy. This is why it's important for you to think positive thoughts. This is why it's important for you to be positive and align yourself with positivity. Because energy plays a big part of this. See, if you're aligning yourself with negative thoughts, that you're allowing negativity into reality. So the same way you can get coincidences about positive things, you can start getting coincidences about what? Negative things. So the same way that the universe is allowing you to know something on a positive end of the spectrum that can possibly happen, and that can happen, that will come in, if you continuously align yourself with this thought pattern or in this energetic frequency. If you continue this, it's more than likely bound to come in. That's what this coincidence means, right? So if you have a coincidence, if you're thinking about something negative, if you're thinking about something that's not prosperous, and you start seeing coincidences that align with that, guess what can happen? That negativity can come in. You know? Say, for instance, you're scared about your partner being pregnant. And this is something that you think about over and over and over and over, right? So now on TV, you see baby commercials and they hit different. And the moment, and it's not that the baby commercials come in because they're always on there, but the moment that it comes on is the moment that you were just thinking about it. Literally, you're just thinking a thought about said thing, and that pops up on the TV or pops up on the radio, or you see a billboard for it, or somebody walks by you and says the same thing, or you listen to music and they say the same thing. You have to energetically check yourself and see where were you when you were thinking this thought and this coincidence came in. Now, if you continuously think on this spectrum, guess what's bound to happen? This coincidence will turn true. This is dealing with energetic frequency, quantum theories. All this plays a part in it. And you can say, well, how does it end up on the positive end of the spectrum? Okay. Say, for instance, you're just thinking a thought, a positive thought. You're on a high vibration. And you say something, and then you're listening to music, and music says the same exact word that you were thinking. Boom, there it goes right there. You know? Was it a coincidence? We label it a coincidence, but I would just say it's nothing but a checkpoint. I would say nothing but a confirmation that you're on the right path. It's funny because coincidences can also happen, and you can feel this nudge. Say, for instance, and this has happened to me before, where something as simple as needing to refill the antifreeze in my car, correct? And I look at the bottle, and I get this feeling like, hey, you might want to grab the bottle and, whoa, whoa. And internally, I'm like, I'll be okay. And what'll happen later that day? I need that antifreeze. Was it a coincidence when I looked at that bottle, I felt this urge? That bottle felt different when I looked at it at that point in time. And this is before I even thought about me needing this antifreeze. Now, when I looked at the antifreeze, it feels different. It hits different. Go about my day, boom, need it. And that's when you say, dog it, I should have grabbed that antifreeze. Something told me to grab. They see? That's when it always happens. When you see something and you pass it by, and then later on you say, something told me to. Something told me to do this. Something told me to do that. I was looking at it. I should have grabbed this. I should have did that. Something told me. You see that something that told you? That was the universe nudging you, giving you coincidences, giving you a coincidence, giving you a sign, giving you a synchronicity. It was giving you all the things that you needed to know to grab this. The universe is not going to tell you, hey, grab the antifreeze. It's not going to do that. The universe did as much as it possibly could to alert you, to notify you, hey, grab that antifreeze. You know, like I said, when people say, something told me to, that's what my mom always say, something told me to. So when you're in that spirit of something told me to, that was the universe telling you. How do you know if something's a coincidence? It's when you feel an energetic shift, you feel an energetic pull, you feel more energy towards it. This energy is different towards this said thing that you may always see. That's how you can defer something that you always see from it now being a coincidence versus just being, something just mundane or something that's just there. You'll feel it. This is how the universe communicates with us. You could be speaking to a new friend and you're wondering if this friend is, a good friend for you, right? You could be speaking to a new friend and something specific in that conversation that you never thought about or was never discussed or anything of that sort was brought up. And 3 days later, you can see that said thing that you never seen before, never thought about, never anything, could be in the store staring you right down. Boom, right there. And it makes you want to say, holy shit. And that's when you say, I'm on the right path. Or you ask God, you ask the universe a certain question. And immediately when you turn around or, I'm not going to say immediately because sometimes it happens immediately. Sometimes it happens when you let it go and then it'll flow right in. But the universe will give you a sign to where it just answered your question. So is there such thing as a coincidence? No. I think when we say there's no such thing as a coincidence, that is us putting more faith in our human brain and our human conscious than submitting to the universe. And I think this is extremely why they say lean not to your own understanding. Because our only understanding is what we can comprehend in our brain from what we've seen and how far we can think based on what we've been exposed to and how we can calculate all this in our head. That's the furthest we're allowed to think. But the universe can think and move and see beyond so much more. God can see and move beyond so much more. So at that point, that's why they say lean not to your own understanding. Because if you do, you'll start missing out on synchronicities. You'll start missing out on coincidences. You'll start missing out on these signs and things that the universe is trying to use you to guide you and to let you know certain things. So this is why I say be open. Be open to the universe guiding you. Be open to the universe helping you. Lean not to your own understanding. Be accepting. And watch how your life can improve. Like I said, that intuition, that inner intuition, which is the same thing as something told me. That's that inner nudge, that inner thing that you have that's connected with the universe. It's like your highest consciousness. You know, your highest self is where your intuition raises. It's like you have your regular brain and consciousness, and then you have like your intuition is a step above it. Or like your third eye and all that, right? And to me, your intuition is like what communicates between like your spirit suit and like the divine. It's like that middleman. It's like that liaison between the two. And this is why some people miss out on certain things because their intuition isn't right. So your soul has to be right. Your soul has to be pure. Your soul has to be righteous or hidden down the righteous path for your intuition to even be remotely good. And this is like it's like your antenna to receive. Now what happens if your antenna is not allowed to receive? You won't have a clear signal. This is why you don't get caught up in the worldly things, because the more worldly things that you're caught up in, it blocks your intuition. So you have to see all this worldly stuff like a facade. You have to see all of it is not really here. All of it is fake. Even though it is here. Because the signs of synchronicities will take place here because, why? It cannot. It uses anything possible. Right? So because it uses anything possible, you don't want to get caught up so much into the worldly things. That way you can have a clear conscious, clear intuition. So that way you're able to decipher what is really worldly and what is the universe trying to use as a sign of synchronicity for me to pay attention to. See, if your intuition is not clear and you're not open, then you'll just think that it's just more worldly things. You would just think that a coincidence is just a coincidence, which it isn't. So you have to be open, you have to be accepting, you have to be righteous. I honestly believe that the more righteous you are, even if you're trying to be righteous, it's the more that you're open, the more that the universe allows in, the more that you're able to be receptive, the more the universe can help you. I'm not going to say that the universe is directly going to allow more things to be blessed upon you, or more doors will be open just because you are righteous. I think righteousness is the key because it alleviates some of that heavy burden that's placed upon you when you're not righteous. See, righteousness is like a feather, and everything else is like a brick. So the more bricks you have, the heavier the load. The more congested, the more cloudy. The the more that you're leaning towards that feather, it's the more lighter. The more acceptive, the more receptive. Acceptive and receptive you are. That intuition, the inner knowing, that is just, it goes hand in hand. You gotta be positive. You gotta be, be in gratitude. The more that you're in this positive frequency, this positive vibration, this higher vibration, you're leaning towards your higher self. That's the more that the universe is able to help you. The more that you'll be able to pick up on these signs and synchronicities and keys and nuggets and all this greatness that the universe is trying to bestow upon you. Even another sign of synchronicity that a lot of people see but people may overlook is numbers. Like 111, 444, 555. One that's been following me around is 911. It's been following me around like a rabid dog for the past maybe 3-4 weeks now. And it has two meanings. I don't want to expose them right now because it's a blessing that I know that's coming in, so I don't want to expose it right now. But that's one that's been following me down. I'm talking about, I'll be at the gym. I look at the time. I look at the machine that I'm on. I look at the time. I'll just look up. It's sitting right here on an alarm or something. It's everywhere. Another sign of synchronicity that happened today. I was getting some food from the grocery store. Boom! What happened? The register it was 11:11. I was like, wow. Some people would have said, "Oh, what a coincidence." And I said, without me even diving deep to really see what 11:11 means, it wasn't necessary because I knew that I was on the right path. I knew I was being guided. I was on the right frequency. I was on the right vibration. Continue going. This is why I tell some people what the actual numbers mean doesn't really matter. Just utilize it as something positive and just keep going. Now some people, it's cool to look because it gives you more in depth. So I'll never shy people away from that. But for the most part, it's just that you're on the right path, you're on the right frequency, you're on the right vibration. That's all it means. You're on the right path, you're on the right vibration. Then when you dive deeper into it, now you're able to see the actual message that it's trying to convey to you. Right. But you wouldn't have been able to receive this message and know that there was a message if you weren't on the right vibration, if you weren't on the right frequency, if you weren't in the right mind frame. And these signs of synchronicities happens to everybody. It's just, are you on the right plane in order to receive it and do right by it? That's the thing. And people, as you know, who are in, higher vibration or and things of that sort, and really manifesting, You see signs and synchronicities every day, every hour. It's like they just pop up at you. Boom, 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 boom. And this is not to say someone who sees signs and synchronicities is better than someone else. No. It's just where you are on your journey. You don't know what this person has been through in order to be at this level. You don't know what type of hell or struggle this person through to even get to where they're at now. So don't, look at this person some type of way. Just know you can get there as well. But that's a humongous one. Numbers, I believe that's the way that, one of the easiest ways that it can communicate with you is through numbers. 111, 444, 555, 911, 369, 444. 369 is another big one too. Because if you tie that in with Nikola Tesla, he said those are the only numbers that really the universe uses. And it's funny. No, that was a different one. But yes, he said those are the numbers of the universe, 3, 6, 9. And it's a way that you add them and divide them and multiply them and some that it always comes back to 3, 6, or 9. See, so even back then, people were big on numbers. The universe will use anything and everything at its disposal in order to communicate with us. God will use anything and everything possible. And this is why I say that there's no such thing as something being purely good or purely evil. There's no such thing as something strictly being good or something being strictly bad. Alcohol can't be strictly bad. Alcohol could be used for a celebration. Or it can also make you a drunk. People believe things like tarot cards can be evil. And I beg to differ. They can be used as such to manipulate, to bamboozle. It could be used for evil. But also that same card can help somebody, can guide you. Especially if that person is channeling from a divine spirit, a divine connection with the universe. It can't be. Especially if that person has a connection with God. Now how would that be evil? The same church that can bless you is the same church that can harass you. So are all churches good or evil? Can't throw them all in that category. So this is why I say nothing's purely good, nothing's purely evil. God can use anything and everything. The universe can use anything and everything to give you a message, whether it is good or bad. Nothing on this planet and this universe is neither inherently good nor bad. It can be used for both. Money is the biggest thing. People say money is the root of all evil. Some people say the root of money is the root of all evil. Some people say the love of money is the root of all evil. Money can be used to bless. Money can be used to curse. Same thing with guns. Guns can be used to take away. Guns can be used to protect. Nothing is inherently good or evil, good or bad. So once you know that, that should allow you to allow more synchronicities and coincidences and things to happen. And now the spectrum of what you allow to see is even wider because you allow more in. You're not blocked off. The universe is allowed to communicate with you even more. Even when we dive into things like dreams, people think dreams are just like a mini movie that goes on when you sleep. No. See, the universe is communicating with you 24/7. Excuse me. The universe and God has the ability to communicate with you 24/7 as it sees fit. Dreams are nothing but merely another communication tool. That's why people have dream journals. People write down their dreams. People have certain sleep patterns and sleep hygiene in order for them to receive their dreams, downloads, and things of that sort. They're not just mere movies that play that you know, to be entertained while you sleep. No. Why do you think certain people have nightmares? Because of the life they live. Either someone that they've come across, right? Now they're getting nightmares because they're with this person. Or the universe could be giving you nightmares because of the type of life you chose to live. But it's up to you to say, okay, I'm having nightmares. Let me sit down and decipher why I'm having nightmares. Is there anyone new I've introduced into my life? No? Okay. So why am I getting these nightmares? Is it because the evil I've been doing? Okay. Well, if I want these nightmares to stop, maybe I need to stop doing evil. See, something so simple. If you keep getting a dream about a reoccurring thing, maybe it's time to check in on that reoccurring thing. It could be something so simple that when you change this thing or you pay attention to it, when you're awake, it could be that one thing that you needed to align your life to your highest self. Like I said, dreams are not just a mini movie for you to be entertained while you sleep. No. The universe is able to communicate with you through these actions because now, even more so, because now your conscious is cut off. You're in a theta state. And now when you're in this theta state, it allows for you, it allows more, not mental manipulation, but it allows more your brain to be molded a little bit easier for you to accept more things. This is why they say you want to manifest in the theta state right before you go into sleep. That little action between when you're actively in your alpha state and then the sleep state. Right there, right in between there. Where you get a little woozy, right there. That little section right there, that theta state right there is where you start putting in your intentions because now you're drifting off into, well, you're drifting. And when you're drifting, your conscious mind is not taking hold of your brain anymore. So when you're fully awake and you say you want $1 million, your conscious mind will say, that's impossible. But now when you're in this theta state and you start saying, I want $1 million, it starts becoming a little bit more believable. Now you start thinking about ways because that active conscious is gone, it's sleep. So now you're able to input things into your mind. This is where psychosis comes in, where people get hypnotized and things of that sort. They put them into that theta state. The brain is more malleable in the theta state. When that active conscious is not there dictating what it will allow and won't allow. This is why they tell you to think about the life you want to live right before you go into sleep or when you're drifting to sleep. That's why they tell you these things. It's because that's when you're at your greatest peak for you to allow these manifestations to start taking root. It's like when the ground is most fertile. So This was episode 30. Episode 30 of Rich Talks. 30 days. I said I was going to do 30 days, 30 minutes. And boom, look at that. I appreciate everybody for listening. This is not going to be the last. We're going to do another 30, then another 30. I think this is something I'm going to continue doing. It's just like exercise. Kobe goes to the gym every day and puts up jump shots. Tiger Woods takes a swing every day. You know? So why not? It's only 30 minutes and it's going to, improve. So if you're doing something in your life, just carve out a little bit of time to practice at your craft to get better. It's a gift that God gave you. And it's how you're supposed to help and bless the universe. It's how you're supposed to help and bless other people. Excuse me. Again, I appreciate everybody for listening. This is episode 30. About the communication and how about the universe and how it communicates with us. Hope this helps somebody today. This is your favorite cousin. I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.